Well, my friends, this is off of yet a different horse trailer that you've not seen on the channel other than maybe in the background. This horse trailer came from my buddy Ron. All the tires on it are bad. The trailer itself is almost okay, but maybe we're just going to try to get the wheels, tires working on the thing, and then just put it on Facebook or something and sell it. Ron needed to get rid of it, get it out of its way because he was moving. And I didn't need it, but because I knew I could just, get it working and turn it around. So that's what I'm doing here is trying, while it's hot outside, I've got the air on in here and I can work in here and do something. This is my little cheap Harbor Freight tire tool, and I paid $35 for this. Now, granted, I beefed it up a lot. I put angle iron on here and stuff to really give that some extra oomph. I also beefed up this area here a lot, and I'll show you how you break a tire down. It's actually fairly easy. Most people, just pay to have it done these days. I get that. I do that too sometimes. But in a situation like this, it really don't even pay to have it done. Just about as quick and easy. I spend an hour or two driving it to and from, and I'd have to take all 4 tires. By the time I would get one direction, I can have this tire fixed. At least I believe I can. I'm going to take the tire off the rim because it's leaking around the rim, and I'm going to clean the rim, and then I'm going to maybe put a little sticky stuff around there to help it seal. So anyway, here's how you get them off, or at least I think here's how you get them off. Pry this little baby right here under like that. You push this side down so that it's down in that groove like that, and then you just start spinning and pops right off. Yeah, in the tire store you see them using those machines that run around there automatically, but you can see how easy that was. I'm 70 years old and I can do it. Ain't no big deal. It's just learning how, it's all learning how to do this stuff. And here's the other one. And we just run it around there again. And see how quick and easy that was? Nothing to it. I didn't even break a sweat doing that, but I did break a sweat outside in the heat taking these bolts off. We're going to clean this all up and remount it and see if it leaks. Okay, we're going to take this little wire wheel. In fact, this will be the first time I've ever used this on this air tool. And we're going to go around this and try to knock any roughness or rust or anything like that off of this wheel hub. And then hopefully it'll seal better. So here we go. You always want to make sure you're wearing safety glasses whenever you're doing something like this because it can throw wires. it would probably be a good idea to paint this whole wheel and all that but I don't much care about all that. All I care about is getting it to hold air. So I'm just going to paint just the rim area. Generally, that's all it takes to make them hold air. Now this one didn't have any pitting or anything. It was fairly good shape. So we got to clean this, paint it like I did, and then clean the tire itself, and maybe put some sticky stuff on the tire, and it should work, I would think. I'm debating on whether I want to paint these wheels or not. I don't really want to, for sure. But on the other hand, now's the time to do it with the wheel tires off. Put a little coat of paint on there. I believe it's cleaned off pretty good, actually, and kind of surprised. That'll make it look a little better. Might help it sell a little better. You never know. Well, that's going to have to sit for 24 hours probably before I can go any further with that. There will be somebody that doesn't have a lot of money that needs a decent trailer, and this is a decent trailer. It's just not great. It's just kind of a minimalist trailer, but it'll get a horse hauled from one place to another. Okay, I'm going to take just a dry, it's kind of a paper fiber towel. It's not exactly paper, it's more like fiber. And anyway, I'm just going to dry this really good and kind of buff this area. Honestly, I don't see why it would be leaking. It really doesn't look as bad as a lot of them I've seen that have held air. I'm wondering if this vulcanizing fluid would work. I'm going to read on the directions and see if it says it works for that. Well, I was taken once again by the marketing hype. This vulcanizing fluid is nothing more than just plain old rubber cement. That's all it is. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that around this edge. I don't see as it will hurt anything. That'll probably improve the seal. I don't, well, I didn't spend much money on this. I didn't spend any more than you would spend for rubber cement, but I didn't know that's all it was rubber cement. So there you go, live and learn. Probably let that set overnight and for that paint to dry and all that. I'm fairly confident that I can get this to seal now. I don't think it's going to be a problem because it wasn't leaking bad. It was just, it had a steady stream of bubbles all the way around, but it was a real tiny foamy type bubble. So it wasn't like it was just pouring air out. It was just a very mild leak all the way around. It probably just dried out, and I think that putting that rubber cement on there is going to fix all that. Well, my friends, this is the second tire. This is not the one I painted. This is the other one that I took off the same side of the trailer. And you can see the bubbles foaming up around the rim. This is actually worse than the other one. The other one was more like this. It would foam, but with just tiny amounts. This one's worse, no question. I haven't checked the other side yet. Let's check this side. I can already tell it's going to do it too. It's going to do it also. It's not as bad maybe as the other side. It doesn't look like it's doing it now. It showed bubbles when I first turned it over, but I don't know. Sometimes these things seat on their own. That one looks okay on this side. So again, it's the front side only. And sometimes you can fix that with like doing this, going around the rim. I'm not saying it's going to fix it in this particular case because it's more than normal. If you just had one little spot, sometimes just hitting it like this right around the rim will fix it. But it's not going to fix it in this case. I can tell for sure. It's just way too bad. So, and I can see it still bubbling. So we're going to take this off and do the same treatment to this, and hopefully we find as good a shape. If it's in as good a shape as the other one, I think it'll hold air. But yeah, we're going to have to break this one down too. I'm not going to show breaking this one down because you saw me do it on the first one. Well, my friends, I've set the wheel on here. This little pin goes through one of the holes. That keeps it from spinning. Then you put this spider on top of here. And then I put my homemade thick washer on here. That really has changed everything, that thick washer, believe it or not. That locks it down much better. Then we tighten that down, and it's made where you can crank on it a little bit and get it really tight so it's really solid. That helps. And now we're going to put the tire on, and the key thing here is that we want to put the tire on with the that white sidewall. We want it down because that'll be facing in because the wheel is facing up. And now I'm going to get some spray to lubricate it a little bit. This is just a little bit of soapy water, so we'll spray that on here. So I just wet it down like that. It helps things go around a little bit better. Not that great, but anyway. So I'm sliding the bottom edge of the tire on and kind of forcing it on. And there's lots of different ways to do this. Most of the time, I just use a mallet and knock it on. Usually, the first inside goes on really easy. So I'm just going to take a mallet and knock it on here, and I think you can see it. It's going on really easy. I'll put you over here where you can see it. So on the inside here, I just hit this, and it just goes right down on there. No problem at all. See, I'm not even hardly breaking a sweat. Just a few hits, and it's on there. Now this one's a little bit more difficult, or a little more different, I guess, is that I'm going to take this and help it on because now we don't have a way to get it on there as easily. So I'm just going to take this and run it around, and hopefully it'll run it right around and put it back on there for me. This is a homemade tool. Put the camera on the other side now because I'm running into you. And just slide it on around, see? You know, people think all this tire stuff is so hard, but with just this little $35 deal from Harbor Freight, I can do almost anything with a tire in just a few minutes. It would take me forever to run that to town and back. I'd lose at least an hour, and I didn't even spend, what, 2 minutes on camera? I believe we just got to air her up. I don't think it'll take air sitting right where it's at, but I'm going to try it anyway. Sometimes getting a tire to take air is the hardest thing you'll run into. Let me get the valve stem, and here's the little Schrader valve that goes back in there. So I'm going to put that in. We'll tighten it down. And I'm going to spray a little water around this, just a little bit. Just sometimes that, believe it or not, just that little bit will help seal the hole, help it slide on. So let's see if it'll take air. Right away it did. I'm amazed. Now it's going to pop real loud here in a second. That's one. Going to do it again. Real loud. See how loud that is? You got to be careful with that. I mean, that could hurt you. I'm going to put some air in there. And we'll check and see how much air we have in there. I'll just use this nozzle, it works pretty good. 18 pounds. In fact, I'll just switch nozzles now and use this, and I can tell how much I'm putting in there. Now remember, this thing was leaking all around the rim, 100% leaking around the rim. So that's what we got to check, is to see if it's still leaking around the rim. Yep, right, we're at 32 pounds. So now we'll spray this right around the rim here and see if we're leaking anywhere. And this will for sure tell you if you are. I see no leaks. Let me check the valve stem itself. I don't see any leaks there. All right, no leaks, I don't think. Looks like it's sealed up perfectly. Now we have to turn it over and check the other side to see if it's sealed. I'm not going to worry about this getting in the perfect position here. I'm just going to check for leaks. And I don't see any leaks at all. I think we're good to go. And it's pretty much a requirement that you have to bounce a tire after you fix it. It's just kind of one of them tire fixing rituals that you go through. But no, it seems to be perfect. It's about as good as it gets.